Well, well, well. Look who's back for another nibble of mystery. It's me, Penny, short on legs, long on curiosity, and today we're trotting into Chapter 8 of The Woman in White. Fancy shawls, strange glances, and moonlit windows. Oh yes, it's getting juicy. Let's follow the scent and see what secrets this chapter's hiding. Chapter 8. Perhaps mistake is too strong a word. My position, when I sent the little note to Mr. Fairley, that is, pretty plainly made in that little note, was this. I was going back to Hollow Bay. I was to find a convenient lodgings there. I was to remain there for 1 or 2 months. I was to leave England on the 1st of November, after sending him my address to his solicitor. I recollect that I had just had that conversation with Mr. Fairley about Brick Court, and that shawl, that I had the day before thrown her round over the shoulders of the figure in the hall, when I wrote that note. I had in my hand at the time a large scale, 8 or 10 feet in diameter, brought out from my rooms. What, thought I looking at it, is half England? It can't be the whole of us, that's plain, and hardly any of London. The figure in the hall, looking at it, had that shawl thrown carelessly round her. A great part of it fell on the floor, one of those handsome shawls with knotted ends that hang like tassels. I remember perplexing myself, as men do, when they are just drawing on their great coat, and very late, and I entirely remembered the small clicking of my watch and the little dial inside that I could just see through the window. I held the shawl in my hand a moment, measured it. Then, being late and remembering all the rest, sent the note. I remember the day. Nelson's Victory was revealed in the Strand just before the bright little yellow lamps, just springing up over the heads of the wretched little sons of men in laced uniform. Someone had come into the room, his passage across a tiny gilt and purple tumbling floor in the background. He passed, without speaking, but she noted him, and her eyes turned upward at him as I left, half stalling in the doorway. That evening I dined, with Mr. Fairley and Mrs. Michelson, in their Scotch house at Holland Park. There were only 3 of us, and I, young, plain, thin, troubled with a cough, sat looking on 2 wonderful women, as it seemed to me, over the wine that had just revived all my manners, but not my heart. I don't know whether the men, and the men in this book generally have some excuse for extravagance, were introduced, but Mr. Fairley's conversation in Edinburgh was solemn, chilly, irrepressible. Everything came back to business: relief, bill of lading, place, opportunity, abandon. He had just brought that up about the shawl that wandered about the room till the house was full again. I had sat on one of the wide window seats in the front drawing room, watching the moon shining between cloud clefts in the corner of the sky, and the gas lamps beginning to blaze, yellow as butter, in the street. She had a shawl, and I have said it, round her shoulder, a rose-leaf faint color, warm, nestling round her, with the soft curls on her shoulders too. I tried to measure the width of it, in my mind, as if I had been led to. She looked so fair and soft, so different from the woman I had seen in Holloway Place. That woman had looked like a coverlid pulled down just at the moment a child was born, troublesome and miserably ragged, covering something striving for breath. This woman, this figure, showed me a dim idea of what woman could be, if she had softness, and grew strong, and hid no self, and fluttered in her own grace. And at last, it was only just before dinner, I was forced to speak to Mrs. Michelson of the shawl. "It is a very fine shawl," said I, looking at the point of it on her shoulder where it hung. "She must have paid a great deal for it." Mrs. Michelson glanced at me instantly in that singular way she had. I don't know whether it was the influence of the wine, affecting her, or me, acting on her first. She turned the shawl round her arm and draped it fall-wise to the ground. I thought her more like a statue, stood still for a moment, almost as if she exhibited it by design. Then she gave it another twist and said, "Yes, it is called the Morgan shawl." I rose before my time from the table. I think each of us did. I walked away to the window, on the side of Holland Park facing the east, and the morning moon was there still, half hidden in its own vapor. 2 or 3 lights in the huge private gardens were flickering. The yellow lamps on the roads were asking why the moon did not shine more brightly. I laid my head on my hands and leaned my arms on the covering of the windowsill. I wonder, said I to myself, whether she thinks anything of me. I have some warm, open admiration for her, but I am young and poor, unknown. I have taken an engagement in a far country, which may become important or may break me. I know not which yet. When I came back to the table, I think I was a little flushed. I would willingly have bought that shawl 17 times over. Whew! That shawl had more drama than a squirrel chase in autumn. Stick around, friends. This tale's only getting twistier. Don't forget to wag a like, drop a bark in the comments, and curl back up next time for more secrets with me, Penny, on Short Legs Dark Tales. Until then, keep your ears perked and your heart brave.